Video games are the only time in life when people try to recreate the feeling of picking up fecal matter. And like voluntarily. You know, we're like, oh, you know what I want to do after a long day at work or class? I want to play a game that lets me pick up poop. So when I say this game's like wiping up shit, that's not me being a jerk. That's me being descriptive. It's My Exotic Farm for the Nintendo Wii U. I mean you. So you know when things start off with poop jokes that we're all in for a treat. In this case, it's My Exotic Farm. This thing was just released to the Wii U's eShop. It's actually a follow-up to 2013's My Farm. Unfortunately, I did not have the pleasure of picking up that poop. But I'm telling you, if it's anything like this poop, I wish I had. Smelly and runny as it may be on occasion, My Exotic Farm was somehow kind of addictive. I couldn't stop playing this goddamn thing. Even if at times I didn't want to play this goddamn thing. You start off with a pretty poopy farm. So early on, when you're picking up poop, part of you feels like you should just pick up the whole farm. But with a little perseverance and hard work, not to mention the coming of the freaking monsoon, it's not long before grass starts growing, animals start thriving, and your empty-ass farm actually becomes respectable. Like, you know, like when you put a crocodile in the hippopotamus pen, because obviously you're great with animals. Now, I will say this, the game doesn't get off to a great start. I mean, it just sort of drops you on the farm. No directions, no tutorial, no clear idea of how the game works, and for a while you're just sort of sitting there. You really don't have anything to do. Of course, within just an hour, you're scrambling all over the place, you have so much to do. But it does take a little while to figure out the game's direction and its rhythm. And that could be an issue for younger players for sure. Actually, My Exotic Farm's more like a zoo simulator than a farming game. You begin with a single ostrich on a barren farm, with no fences, no water, no clue. But you feed that ostrich, and suddenly it lays an egg, and you can sell that egg. And that's when the game really gets started. Then you're running around, managing all the animals, and selling their produce. And then you spend that money on new animals and new things for the farm. So it's like this greenhouse effect where the more stuff you have, the more stuff you're gonna get. In fact, there are a lot of times when you end up leveling up, like 2 levels at a time. That's because the game gives you these little objectives, right? Like, get 10 ostriches, or buy a fence for the zebras, things like that. But these are things you might naturally just do over the course of the game. So you might finish one objective, which might give you enough XP to level up, and then the very next objective might be something you've already done, in which case, boom, you level up again. And that means, oh, now you've got twice the rewards. So your farm starts growing at a pretty ridiculous pace, and that fast progression really compels you to keep playing. And of course, it's also the gameplay itself. You play the entire game on the GamePad using the stylus, and it plays great. I mean, it's not unlike a 3DS game, actually, only with the television as your top screen. So, you know, you're doing all the menu navigation and management with the stylus, which works great. So actually playing the game is a lot of fun. But where the game does get a little stinky is in terms of its content and its polish. I mean, you only have the one farm, and there's not much you can do there. No customization or anything like that, which feels like a missed opportunity. And the game doesn't always run perfectly either. And there are lots of brief stutters and freezes throughout the experience. Now, that said, I mean, it's a $5 download. And for that price, it's tough to complain. Now, at times, My Exotic Farm certainly looks and sounds like a $5 game, but it plays great, and even with its lack of depth, it could be an addictive little simulation game. And if nothing else, it shows there's some serious potential for these kind of games on the Wii U. But for now, hey, for $5, why not go and clean up some shit? It's My Exotic Farm on the Wii U's eShop.